Hi everyone, Matthew Donovan here. Day 30 of learning Czech. This will be my final day of doing the daily Czech update videos. I've decided that going forward I'm going to do either one a week or two a week, probably just one a week, but depending on how things go, how much I learn, I might do two. I'm finding my plan going forward is now input. It's all about just reading and reading and reading, listening as well, just simply learning words, experiencing different texts that have various words in them. I think that's the best way to learn new vocabulary, so that's what I want to focus on. And at this point I don't know if it's quite beneficial to have a daily update just to say, oh, these are a couple words that I've learned today. I'll just do more of a generic once a week. Here's the update, here's where I stand. Did things go well? Did things go as I planned? But I had another lesson this morning, hour-long lesson with Jan. This lesson today we focused on pronunciation. So there are about 40 different characters or different sounds in the Czech alphabet. So I typed all of those out, copied them from Wikipedia, and we went through one by one and we worked on the pronunciation. And as well, he also thought of a word in Czech, sometimes multiple words, that contain those sounds that I can practice with. So that essentially took up the entire hour. It took just under an hour, but with about 5 or 10 minutes left in the hour, I decided I didn't want to start anything new. I thought we had a good session, working through all of the different sounds. There are a few that I can't say, I still need to work on. There's two different R's. The second one is slightly better. It's in the word dobře, for example. D-O-B-R with a little hatchet, and then E, D-O-B-R hatchet E. So that's pronounced dobře, but that's still not entirely correct. I'm pronouncing it more of a j, where there's supposed to be an R at the front that rolls into that j, like a rj, but I can't do the R at the start yet because I can't do the rolling R. I will work on that. That is on my list of things to work on and see how I can figure out how to make that sound. For the past couple of years, or longer than that I imagine, I've known that it's possible to roll your R's, I just haven't been able to do it. So I'll get there eventually, but that was the key thing that we highlighted today, is that I have trouble doing both of the R's. But also what I did today is I have this list of, there's just under 40 verbs, and it has all sorts of verbs. It has to be, to have, to do, to say, to go, to get, to work, to give, to tell, to need, to feel, to become, to leave, to read, to remember, to buy, to run, to walk, to know, to live, to write. I basically went and I typed in top 25 English verbs, wrote those down and translated them, and then I also looked through the other 75 that made up the top 100, and I sort of just picked what are the ones that I would probably use. So I know some of the later ones: to buy, to remember, to speak, to learn, to understand. Those are ones that weren't necessarily in the top 25, but I think I would see those coming up in conversations that I have, so I want to make sure I know those. So that's also another thing on the list, is just to practice these. Maybe I'll write some example sentences and import those sentences into Link, and that way I can work on understanding the sentences. I don't know, but I have this feeling that would be a better way to learn, as opposed to just having to remember that, oh, rozumět is to remember, whereas if I have a sentence and I say rozumím česky, then I think it would be easier to remember that, oh, that's I understand Czech, versus, oh, what was the verb for rozumět, or what was the verb prakovat, or what is the word dělat, or things like that. I think seeing them in a sentence will be more beneficial, so that's the plan going forward. 30 days in, I'm just going to do a slight reflection here on what I've done in the past 30 days. So obviously 30 days ago I knew absolutely no Czech at all. I had no idea how to count, how to say yes, how to say no, please, thank you, any of that. At this point right now, I can say please, I can say thank you, prosím, děkuji, děkuji. I can say thank you, I just said thank you. I can say, how are you? Jak se máte or jak se máš? I can answer that. Mam se dobře, mam se fine. I can turn it back on them saying, how are you? A jak se máte vy? I know how to say, what's your name? Jak se jmenujete? I know how to say my name is blank. Jmenuji se Matthew. I can say yes, I can say no, ano, ne. I can count. Jedna, dva, tři, čtyři, pět, šest, sedm, osm, devět, deset, and so forth. I know a couple words, but nothing really crazy. Kniha is book, manžel is husband, manželka is wife, auto is car, jablko is apple. I know that because it came up yesterday when I had Jan translate the sentences for me. But other than that, understand some basic verbs and how to conjugate them. So if we take to have, for example, mam, mate, mash, ma, how do you say he has? Mai, I think, M-A-J. We have is mame, you have is mate. So I don't remember all the conjugations for have, but I understand most of them. To understand, rozumím, rozumíš, rozumí, rozumíme, rozumíte, rozumí, I believe is all of those. I understand how to negate things. I don't understand is just ne, rozumím. So obviously I have a long way to go, but definitely reflecting back on what I've accomplished in 30 days, it's not nothing. Obviously not sufficient by any means, but I can also say, what does this cost? Kolik stojí. I understand who, what, where, what, when, and why. Kdo, who, what, where. Kdo, say, kde. And then when and why is kdy and proč. So I understand those. What else do I know? I know some of the basic sounds, how to make those. To some extent, verb order or putting some words together. So I can speak Czech is umím mluvit česky. That's just because I have memorized that sentence from Link. But just reflecting on everything that I know, it's definitely a lot more than I knew 30 days ago. And I think in another 30 days, maybe in 30 days I'll try and have a conversation in Czech with Jan or maybe someone else on italki, and I'll record that and see how that goes. But definitely that's the challenge for 90 days. I do want to have a 10 or 15 minute conversation entirely in Czech. I think it's doable, especially if I focus on learning words. I might be at a point where I have to ask for clarification or ask for what's being said to be repeated. But I think once I understand the meaning, I'm hoping that I'm at a point where I'm able to come up with the words that I know and use the words that I know and come up with something as a response. So that's what I'm looking forward to. 30 days in right now, very excited. I made a lot of progress and I'm happy with that. And I look forward to what we have upcoming in the next 60 days. As I said, I won't be doing one of these every day from this point forward. So expect another video from me either in a couple days or next week. It'll just depend on how things are going, how busy I am, and how much progress I think I made. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.